Hello, good evening. It's Monday, so it's multi-make time. We are going to be playing with November's box, which is that beautiful leaf, or tulip, as Mr. Roo decides to call it. Let me just dig it out from underneath all my stamps. It's that one. That's the one we'll be playing with tonight. So, yeah, November's multi-make. That's what we're going to be playing with. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do. I have got... losing my voice already. I've got a 7-inch-ish card cut out, and I've got some scraps as well, because I thought, well, my scrap box is getting rather large, so I thought we'd have a bit of a, not quite sure, but a bit of a play with some scrap tonight and see what happens. Because like I say, not quite sure what we're going to do, but we'll see how it evolves. That's the word I'm looking for, how it evolves, and take it from there. So, should we get crafting? I think so. I do have a couple of gremlins tonight. I can only see, well, yeah, I think we've got some Facey Bee gremlins tonight, so we'll work with them, shall we say. Because I've got a very different picture on my phone to on my computer screen. So, we'll see how it goes and take it from there. So, let's see if, there we go. Right, let's have a go. Evening to Quartzy Lady over on YouTube. Good evening, my dear. So I think I know who that one is. Yeah, so as you can see, I've got, I think this is like 6.5, so I can put it onto a 7-inch card. And then, like I say, I have got some scraps, which you can see I've just left a little border around the edge. Yeah, not quite sure how it's going to work, but I've got an idea. And well, I am a bit afraid of how it'll end up, but we'll see. So you can see, you can kind of see my plan, can't you? Well, maybe you can't, but we've got an idea. And that's the main thing, isn't it? A bit of an idea. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to stamp our lovely leaves, because that's what they are. Well, that's what they are tonight, onto here. Yep, that's fine. See, I'm not really sure what we're doing. Hello, Lynn. It doesn't go tiny on YouTube. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. It did freeze up on me a minute ago, so we'll see. I'm just having one of them technology days where nothing wants to work properly for me. That doesn't sound juicy at all, does it? So we know that's not the juicy one. Let's get the juicy one. There we go, that sounds better. So, you know when I always say it sounds juicy, it's because it makes that kissing noise. I don't know if you can quite hear it. Yeah, so that's the way I know if my inks are starting to run out or not, whether it makes that kissing noise or not. And that's how I know, just by listening, whether it's a juicy ink pad or not, because it makes that like little kissy noise. Just a bit of like trivia there for you. Because I know it does bug people when I say things, and I'm concentrating now, so I'm stamping. There we go. Because there's nothing worse than thinking you've inked up a stamp and then you've used one of your not so inky ink pads. And your next question is, well, why do you keep not so inky ink pads? Well, they're great for second generation stamping. Or if you don't want a really crisp image, there we go, that'll do. Just going to pop that up there for a second. Treating myself to a new kitchen roll as well. No, push the boat out for tonight. We're down to our last few sheets, so I didn't really have a choice. So I'm going to create a little mask. One of that one. There we go. And I don't have to ink this up because we don't need this to be perfect. I just need to be able to see it to cut it out. And that one. And then hopefully I've got enough ink left on this little diddy one. So pop it on there. There we go. So we've managed to clean off my stamp and create my mask as well. Tidy table and all that. So next up, move them over there. I don't know if we'll use them tonight actually. Awesome. And the nice thing as well, if you're using mastic like I am here, if you don't ink up your stamp again, it isn't as wet, so when you come to cut it out now, you don't get all inky pinkies. There we go. And I've still got that little bit left. Oops. For another occasion. Look at that. Might get a flower head or something on that one. So I'm just going to cut this out. I'm going to cut out next to the line, so I want to leave. Can you see I'm leaving a little gap as I cut out? So when I'm doing our inking in a minute, it's going to leave like a little halo effect around our flower. So I'll just make it pop even more. What it does. What's the end of my scissors then? There it is. That little sticky bit that wasn't in the right place. Rude, hey? The only downside with using mastic, because it's so sticky, everything gets stuck to it if you're cutting it out. I will quicken up with my cutting out, I promise. Evening, Mum. Yeah. You know, you'd think I'd learn to draw things that don't have as many bumps and lumps in them to make cutting out a little bit easier. Because we all know I'm not great at cutting out. There we go, right, so I've got my flower head. I'm going to stick that up there for a second. And then I'm going to grab one leaf. Oops, a daisy. That's the second time today I've been stuck to something. We got some, I ran out of brown tape last week and my new tape arrived today, and I don't know how I did it, but somehow I got the inside out of the tape, and it was like just chasing it around. It was like one of them comedy sketches you can imagine, can't you? Me just chasing this tape around, but it was unravelling from the inside, not the outside. So it's safe to say that roll went on the shelf, and I'll deal with that another day. And I opened up a new one. Or if Bear decides he needs some sellotape, that'll be the roll he gets. That sounds cruel, doesn't it? It's not honest. Because I thought I did have some rolls left, but they weren't where I keep them. Ooh, grumblies tumblies already. Right, so make sure we've got all our bits and bobs off the table. Where did I put my little stamp? Well, is it that bit there? It is indeed. It flipped over so I couldn't see it. So I'm going to get this dry first off. Just like that. And then we've got our little masks. I'm just going to come and stick on top. That was nowhere near. Come on girl, you can get it lined up better than that. There we go, there's one. Just making sure all these little enders are nicely stuck down. And then we want number 2. Again, let's get this nicely stuck down, because you can see, I don't know if you can see actually on screen, but you can see through your masket. So you can see if you're positioning it right or wrong. And then this one. So now we're up to our colours. I'm thinking we're going to play with our Distress inks tonight. And we might even stick with our, that's nowhere near, is it? Let me get my head in the right place so I can see it. There we go. There we go. Right. Wrong way. That's the right way. Oh, sorted now. Right, colours. I'm going to go with inks. We're going to use inks for a change, because we don't always use inks, do we? We normally use our oxides. So let's go inks for a change. Oh, we've got fireworks again tonight. And I'm thinking... let's go down the browns and oranges. Oops, a daisy. There we go, a bit of rusty hinge. And ooh, some gathered twigs. I never really choose my colours, do I? It's just whatever we come across on the shelf. Fancy a bit of, I can say I fancy a little bit of red going in there. Afraid burlap or gathered twigs, I think. And then what have we got? We've got rusty hinge, gathered twigs. Antique linen might be a bit pale, and we've got a bit of fabric. I know it looks a bit odd, doesn't it? I wanted a yellow, an orange in there as well. Well, that rusty hinge will do the orange, won't it? What am I talking about? It'll be fine. So, kitchen roll. I always forget, because if you look at rusty hinge, let's see if I can find it for you. Rusty hinge here, to me, looks brown. Yeah. Rusty hinge. Oh no. Oh, it looks the same, I suppose. I always thought it looked more orange in that one. It's me and my eyesight. Right, so, evening Pauline. I'm going to start off with a little bit of antique linen, I think, just to get this bit of colour. Now, because I've got masks on here, I am going to work out for my mask. Because the last thing you want to do when you've got a mask on, whether it's a post-it note or mask it or anything like that, or even masking tape or washi tape, is rub into your mask. Because all you're doing there is you're making the edge want to lift. Yeah? So you can see I'm working out for my mask. She says, and then lift it up on that one. And this is also the nice thing about when I did my stamping for my masks. We used our 2nd and 3rd generation inks, yeah? So it's not wet. Because if we did that on wet ink, it'd be going everywhere. And it's not, is it? It's staying where we put it, which is always a good start. Doing it again on that one. Raining then. Right, so I don't know if you can see that. I've got a really pale bit of antique linen. I couldn't even remember which one I'd used. To be fair, I thought I'd picked up all paper, but I haven't. Let's start off with our rusty hinge now. So, nice thing about this one is you don't have to turn your tissue. If you're going paler to darker, it really doesn't matter because it's Distress ink. Okay. I'm going on very, very gently first, and then I'll go a little bit harder once I know it's getting the right colour. So can you see I'm leaving a bit of a gap? So we've got that lovely, I was going to say old paper again then, wasn't I? No, it's not old paper. Vintage antique linen. Oh. So we've got our mask, then we've got a bit of antique linen, and then we've got our rusty hinge. I love the name of that one, rusty hinge. Come on. It wants to stay down, honestly. I'm not really worried about this edge because I think we're going to tear that in a minute. This edge not so much because, well, it's the edge of our card, this one. And I'm going to grab a little bit of gathered twigs. I'm going to turn my tissue now because it's starting to get a little bit... Ooh, look at that. That's looking very, very juicy, so I'm just going to take a bit of it off. This time I'm just going to bring it in from the edge. And it looks like nothing at the moment, doesn't it? Just a bit of card. Just like that. Right, I'm quite happy with that, I think. So now, ooh, stamps here. You do it here somewhere. And I grab our lovely little ladder. Do I want it on a stamping block? Maybe. So I'm going to start off with a rusty hinge, I think. Evening, Maxine. Not worrying too much about making sure he's all inked up, and he wasn't at all. It's a good job I wasn't really bothered. And I'm hardly pressing as well. So I'm not inking it properly and I'm hardly pressing it. It's giving that linen look. I think it was Jackie on last week's live that was saying it looks a bit like linen, and she was right, it does. Or trellis. I didn't mean for it to look like trellis, but it kind of does, doesn't it? Again, not inking it up very well at all, but my numbers are going the right way this time. I'm only going to do that once, aren't I? I might as well just finish off because, well, we can. Right, so that was just the hinge, so you know where we're going now, don't you? We're going to go to our lovely gathered twigs. I'm going to take it off here because I want a little bit more control over where everything's going. Oops. So inking it up, just using my fingers. Downside of it, can you see I'm getting ink where I don't want it? So just be a little bit careful when you come to stamp. More there. It looked very plain, that bit there, didn't it? And I think we're going to do the same around here. I suppose if you had the little binary stamp from, I think it was last year's calendar, that would be a really nice add-on to this set, wouldn't it? Adding a few little bits in now. Yeah. I don't think it needs any more, does it? Right. So that is our first bit on there. It doesn't look very impressive, does it, at the moment? It doesn't, but it will do, I hope. So I think we're going to tear it up. So if you tear towards you, you're going to get that white bit showing, which is what I want. So finger on top and tear. Downside of having nice thick card when it comes to doing tearing and things like that. Oops, a daisy, look at the side of that one. I'm getting a bit close to my flower. There we go. Could use that on something else, I suppose. Yeah, and then we're going to have another one behind. Which I'm actually... Oh, I'm getting inky pinky marks on the bottom bit now. It's okay, we'll turn it over. No one will know. You can see I'm thinking. I'm going to take these off first. I might need them again if I... That does look pretty cool though, doesn't it? So, first layer, I've got that coming on like so. Yep. This one is going to come in here. And I think we're going to do the same again. So we're going to take that one out, work on this layer. Let me just clean off my desk though. She says I can't see my spritzer, there it is. It's around somewhere. I want different colours though this time. So I'm going to go more to my reds. So we had that rusty hinge, bit of gathered twigs, and I think this time we'll go to that. Ooh, actually, ignore what I just said. We're going to... I want a bright yellow. Come on. There we go, fossilised amber, perfect. We're going to have a lovely bit of fossilised amber. We're going to have my fired brick. And we might have, I've got a right Persimmon. You know the one I mean. I never say it right. Oh no, I've got to pick raspberry. Don't want that one. Ooh, rude. Can't find it. Probably on my table knowing me. Anyway. I'm always surprised that I can't find inks, but to be fair, I never put them away, so I shouldn't really be surprised. You know, if I put them away properly, then I'd always be able to find them. Oh, I found my tea dial. I was looking for that a minute ago, wasn't I? Right. I haven't got a right Persimmon, but I've got a spice marmalade. That one will do. I'll put the others back on the shelf. So this time we're just going to go for it again. We're going to get our blender. And this time, I always start with my palest one first. Because you can always add, but you can't take away, can you? Well, you can, but it's easier. Just get some blobs of colour on there. Nothing special, just blobs. Got a right waggle going on there. And a bit of spicy marmalade. Ooh. up the wrong bit of my tissue there. Right, and then let's get some of this fired brick on there. And again, I'm using my inks, not my oxides. So popping a colour on and then going to my next darker colour is absolutely fine in the inks. Oxides, different tissue blending tool, whatever it is, per colour, otherwise you get a bit of cross contamination. I do like this colour. I'm just colouring it all in red now, aren't I? It's not like me, that. That's fine. Right, so we're going to do exactly the same again. We're going to start off with our ladder. I'm going to go back onto the block, I think, for this one. Now I spice some marmalade, I think. Oops, wrong way up. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Oh, I know what we should have done. We should have spritzed that before we stamped it. Never mind. I'm going to spritz it now though. Give it a really gentle spritz. And it'll just give you that softer. Ooh, nearly did it. Nearly. Make sure you dry your stamp before you put it back on your ink pad. Otherwise you end up with all sorts. Bit down here looks like a fence. It does a bit, doesn't it? It's been called a fence, a trellis, all sorts. Go in a bit more. I'm getting carried away now, aren't I? Didn't mean to. A bit of tissue stuck in there. Right, I'm just going to give that a quick blast with my heat gun. Not heat bum, I don't know what one of them is. But you can see that lovely the water effect you get with it as well. But again, I am using inks. I'm not using my oxides tonight, but you could do this with your oxides if that's your preferred medium. And then, you know it's coming, we need to do a little bit of the red. I really like how when we spritz it turns out, so I'm going to do my red. But so it doesn't overpower. Oops, a daisy. I'm going to give it a quick spritz first. Ooh, nearly did it again. Wet stamp into me ink pad, not a good idea at all. There we go, give it a quick spritz. Got my arm then. Sorry. Put it everywhere. To be fair, I've not done that in a while. Aim for the stamp but got my hand. My phone did an update, I don't know whether I told you, and ever since I can't get the notifications to shut up. They just make random noises and it's like I don't even know what that one was for. Just random noises. I've learnt how to mute it overnight, but that's about it. It just makes all these random noises now. I really don't know why. So we've got a little bit of red on there. We've got a little bit of our spice marmalade. I was going to say pumpkin, but it's not. Spice marmalade. I'm liking that colour combo. So that was fossilised amber, spice marmalade, and fired brick on this level. Level. I want to make sure this one's nice and dry. Come on. Evening, Susie. I'm not quite sure where we're going tonight with this one, so you know. We're taking it one step at a time, and it might end up really good. Oh, it might end up a bit. Yeah, she didn't know what she was doing on that one. But we're giving it a go. So, bring this one back in. We're going to pop that one, like this is going to go underneath. See, we could make up the whole page like that, couldn't we? But I don't want to, I don't think. Yeah, it could look quite nice though, couldn't it? Oh, decision time. See, that could stay like that. But I like to do things in threes, don't I? I do. Okay. We'll do something. But before that, where's that one gone? We're going to do a bit of embossing. Because I said I wanted it like that top one where we've got our leaves. I nearly said flower. Leaves. There. So, I think I've got my rather naughty white ink embossing powder that I decided to tip everywhere on Friday. And yes, it does still smell a bit in here. So, ink pad. Ooh, musical ink pad. That's not right, where's me? Oh, dear, I can't find me anti-static pad. Never mind. Evening, Noella. We're going to be going without an anti-static pad tonight. That's fine. Always tidy up afterwards, can't we? And it's not like I'm ever one for being all neat and tidy either. So we're just going to pop few of these. Oops. Coming down. I've gone where I stamped that now. There. That moment's panic where it's like, yep, I know I've just stamped that somewhere. Where? That one. I am fingers and thumbs tonight, aren't I? Everything's going in the wrong direction. Told you. Bring that like that. The one downside of clear embossing powder, because you don't actually see on something like this. I know this one's tinted, but on something like this you haven't got a clue where you've stamped until you put your embossing powder on. Because I don't remember. I'll look away after I've done it. And then just have another go on peeking on like that. Don't want it to look the same though as that one, so we might do it. Yeah, that'll do. It's this leaf, isn't it? It's all peeking on. So it doesn't look like it's being stamped the same way, but it is. And we won't see all of this either, will we? Because we'll have that other lovely little layer on top. There we go. Oops. does, it makes me think we need one in that top corner, don't we? Sorry. Nearly the last one. It was the penultimate one. Now it's the last one. There we go. We had a big space up there, didn't we? Really big space. Feels better now. Pop this away. Pop the lid back on. Don't want to be throwing any more on the floor. Get it safely back on its shelf. Right. Oh, we need to heat emboss it, don't we? I started to look for my paintbrush and it's like, no, heat emboss it, dear. It is magic, isn't it, when embossing powder turns, no matter what anybody says. A little bit of magic. There we go. Right, so paintbrush time. I want to take some of the colour out of our lovely little leaves. I only had a few sheets left. Good job I grabbed a new one on the way in. So, we're going to have a puddle. And I'm hoping this is a semi-clean paintbrush. It is. All we're going to do is just... Ooh. Though I quite like that. I'm not going to take the colour away. Originally I was going to take the colour away, but I'm not because I quite like... Up the water. The only downside is it will need to dry by itself, because if I go back on now with my heat gun, I'm going to over melt that embossing powder, and you know where it goes flat and it's not as shiny because it looks like it's melted into the paper. Don't want that effect. I like the bumpy shiny kind of colour. Do you like that, don't I? Evening, Ruth. Nowhere near the line. You'd think with a raised edge I could at least paint in the lines. No, still can't do it. I'll take that off. And this is going to take a little bit to dry because, like I say, I don't want to hit it with my heat gun again. We might do if we really need to do it. But we're getting our idea out now of what it's going to look like. So we've got layer 1. Layer 2. Ooh, let's get in there. I quite like that. Should we do one last cheeky layer? If we were to tear that a little bit. It has to be a very skinny bit because I do quite like. Ooh, decisions. I'm not good at decisions today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my sentiment, and then we're going to come back to it and see. I'll pop it on top of my laptop. It'll help it dry a little bit, won't it? So I need a scrap piece of paper for our sentiment. No, that's definitely not big enough. I was being lazy and not moving. Yeah, not big enough at all. Ooh, this one's got a hole in it. That'll do, because I don't need it that big anyway. Right, so sentiments. I think we're going to go with the big one. Autumn shows us how beautiful it is to let things go. I'm definitely letting go of being perfect tonight, because there are lots and lots of mistakes, but they're all coming together, aren't they? I've got a red thumb. Don't have green fingers around here, we have red thumbs. Right, so I'm looking. I think what we're going to do, I don't want this to be white. I don't, because I want that beautiful white flower we've got on that first piece we did to be the bit that goes boom. Let's have a look. And the sentiments go, yeah, I'm here, but I'm not overpowering everything. I hope that makes sense. It did in my head. So I need to cut it 3, be 2.5 maybe, and then we can always trim it down if we need to. 3, be 2.5. There we go. We've got all brown cards stuck in it. So I'm going to go back to some of our lovely colours we've had. Oh, that was the worst cutting ever. We might chuff up its edges if I can find me chuffer upper, you know what I mean. I think if we go, I'm looking at my colours. Sorry, I keep going really quiet on you. It's not, I'm just looking at my colours. I think we're going to go back to antique linen. There we go. So a lovely bit of antique linen. That's got wet bits on it. Let's get a new piece of kitchen roll. Oh. Now that's what I needed my sellotape to do today. Stick to the inner tube, and it just didn't. It's on the shelf now. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with that. And I'm sure if somebody had been watching, they'd had a real good laugh. But at the time, I was just chasing it around like a ball of string. It just kept unravelling on me. So, lovely base colour of our antique linen. I'm going to go to our rusty hinge because I think you know the colour palette that we're going through here. So rusty hinge, wherever he's gone, he's there at the bottom. On me a little bit. So I want my centre to be paler and then work out. So I want to create like a bit of a frame when I'm doing this. So the best I've always found is get a little bit of colour on your thing, on your blending tool, whatever you're using, then do like a curlier. So just curl it round like that, and then move on to the next side and do it again. Dunk, 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 dunk. It might come in a bit more. I do think it's going to look okay. Like that. It's not a K, because the K goes that way, but you get my idea. It's that like arch shape, isn't it? No wonder my two struggle with letters, isn't it? Have me going, it's a curly K. No, it's going the wrong way, that dear. Yes, I know. It makes sense in my head. There we go. So now I'm making it into like a half a circle, half an oval. There we go. So you see, you can start to get that like that paler centre. Yeah. And then, oh, gathered twigs or barn door. Oh no, it's not barn door, it's fired brick even. I think gathered twigs, I think. And again, I'm going to do exactly the same again, but just do a little arch. And then bring down to my next one. And my next one. Oh, I was going to cut it down. I didn't check it was the right size. Oh well. We'll make it the right size now, won't we? I'm just going to gently go around the edge just to... There we go. So you've got like that tunnel effect, yeah? Frame effect, tunnel effect. That'll work, see? Yay! Just. Did have that horrible moment then where I thought, well, we all know how good I am at what do you call it, measuring. So I'm going to go back to my rusty hinge, I think. I've just stamped up that little bit at the top, give it a quick spritz. And we're just going to drop it on there. Just like that. Not quite what I wanted it to look like. I'm going to come back again. Oh, actually, let's dry it first, otherwise we're just going to be making a big sloppy mess. We really don't want a big sloppy mess, do we? No, 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 no. Okay, I'm going to ink him up again. Did I dry that? Double check. I'm just going to go. Just like that, I think. And then let's get our sentiment, shall we? There we go. Make sure it's inked up. Your lid goes back on your ink. Do you get quiet on when I'm concentrating? Oops. There you go. Right. So I'm hoping this one, it's drier. It's not dry, it's drier. Let's give this table a bit of a wipe down. I need to turn that over because oh no, it's going to stay that way even though it's got a big inky pinky mark on it. But if I don't point it out to you, you might not see the inky pinky mark. So that comes on like so. That's going to come over here. I do fancy doing a bit of doodling. I think you knew that was coming though, didn't you? Well, that's a bit big. And a bit of ribbon or something to go around that bottom bit. I have done that a bit big. Naughty girl. It's that old saying, isn't it? Measure twice, cut once. Yeah, I should learn. Right, we want to do some doodle-oodling around this one to lose the fact that it's a bit too big. do a nice big, oops, ribbon border. No one will ever know that I cut it just a little bit too big. I'm not going to do lots and lots of patterns and things in it. You could do if you wanted to. It's going to be boring and do it all black. Would look nice in a bronze, won't it? Yeah, just keep going around the edge. And no one eventually will know that I cut it way too big. Oh, I have got a proper grumbly tummy. I do apologise if you can hear that. Nearly there. Why is it always the last one here? There we go. Always seems to take longer, that final one. Or in my case you think it's the final one, it's not. Let's just do, whoops, got the right one, I think so. My black pen's not quite, my black's not quite dry yet, so it's, tell you what, let's move off that, we'll come back to our white in a minute. Because we're just fighting a losing battle with it when it's wet like that. Poor white's got no chance, has it, to stand out. There we go, so try our sentiment. And pop it there. That has dried, that's fine. That's going to go somewhere like that. Just, oh no it's not. Plenty big enough, look at that, plenty. Plenty. That's going to go on there like so. We need to just, oh, I've started now so I'm going to have to do answer. I was going to say, nope, don't do that girl. You spent all that time doing that lovely white edge and then you go and get crazy with your pencil. But only gently. Right, that's going to go. What I need to do is stick this together. I think we might as well add another matte layer to this. So I'm doing it upside down because I will come back in at another time. And yes, it's going to grab, because I don't know where any glues are. To be fair, you'd be surprised if I didn't know where my glue was. I'll cover that one. And I'll cover it down the front of this one. The only downside of using tape is you really are giving yourself one chance, especially with the red tape, to pop it on and get it right. all been really quiet tonight. Oh, you just waiting for me to go, oh, mess that up, didn't I? Yeah, I've done that a few times tonight. There we go. I always get attacked by red tape. I must be very staticky. I am eyeballing this, so I shouldn't do really. There we go. Looks close enough, doesn't it? On there. Right, and then we're just going to have a bit of a doodle fest around the edge now. So, oh, I do that all the time. I start doing something and then end up pottering as well. It's Monday, isn't it? It's a good night to potter because you've got to get ready for the week ahead. I'm just doing a bit of doodling. Decision time. Are we going over or not? I think so, because then it brings it all together, doesn't it? I know. That was a big, bold decision. Oh, crumbly tumbly again. And I'm not going to go over the white because all it does is it takes forever to dry, and we don't want that, do we? No, no, no. Don't know why I just sang at you then, but I did. Ooh. Wasn't quite sure what to do then when I got to that bit there. It's coming into a flower. Petal, petal. Could be a flower, could be a petal. And there's definitely no right or wrong, is there, when we're crafting? Could be a flower, could be a petal. As I was discussing with Bear tonight, it could be a monster truck or it could be a police car. Because we couldn't find his police car, but we could find a monster truck. So we had to pretend that a monster truck was a police car. I know. We just could not find that police car anywhere. But I said, to be fair, if somebody saw a monster truck in the rear view mirror, they'd probably stop a lot quicker or move out of the way. Especially when it's like Megalodon or something. Because if I saw a Megalodon in my rear view mirror, I'd be out of there, you know, pulled over quicker than grease lightning. Bear wasn't so convinced. But he was very practical about it, because his words were, well, you'd never see Megalodon on a road. Which is very true. I don't think you would ever see Megalodon driving along the road. He does have a point. Well, you do see police cars driving along the road. Yep. He does go in the sea, does our Megalodon. He's got one of them fancy ones. You know, the remote control things. And it goes on land and on water and everything. And it does, as we found out, I'm not quite sure how or why we were testing its capabilities, but it can pull a bodyboard behind it as well. Again, not quite sure when you'd ever want Megalodon to come along and pull a bodyboard, but you know, we tested it, and you can pull a bodyboard. You can't pull it with somebody on because you know it's only a toy and all that, but you can definitely pull an empty bodyboard behind you. I'm actually starting to quite like this one now. Got to admit, I had a few moments where I thought maybe not going to happen. Maybe I should have had a bit more of a plan than I want to tear paper, because that was literally my plan for tonight. We were going to tear some paper. I thought, use my scraps and tear some paper up. But I think it's come on. I think it's kind of worked. There we go. So, got all that going on. Go back to this bit down here. It does need a bit of ribbon or something, doesn't it? A bit of like scraggy, what's it called? Not rope. That jute stuff you can get. This pen's not a happy chappy. Don't know why. Noelle shouting at me. Sorry, Noelle. It worked out quite well in the end. I am quite chuffed with it. Oh, I was going to say I found some jute, but you get the idea. We'd put something like that on it. I was getting all excited. I found it now. Oh, I have found it. Ooh, I know, miracles. Not got much left. I'll have to see if Terry's got any when we go to Birmingham. I do go a bit overboard, don't I, with my ribbon. I feel like I don't want to make the ends all scraggy and a bit more. There we go. Hey, it's working. It's a bit like that. Oh, if I did that, you wouldn't be able to see it, would you? Rude. And you do want to see your sentiment, don't you? There you go. Something a bit like that. And these ends, obviously, we just need to snip it off. And there is an easier way to do it if I'd have undone it right. There we go, see. I was trying to see if it'd be faster, but it's not, is it? This is what I mean when I wanted the scraggy ends. There we go. Right. But done. There you go. Scraggy aggy ends. It's the scraggy ends that do it, isn't it? I'm not actually sure if I just now, instead of doing that, I might just put, I like that, don't get me wrong, but I might just put autumn up on the top. Because I quite like it just like that. Yeah. If we wanted it on there. Yeah. I'll put it there for now, but I think I might just stick an autumn at the top, or in amongst me scraggy bits. Yeah. I think I did. I cut it too big, but it gives you the idea, doesn't it? Yeah, I might just cut. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I think next time you see it, autumn will be up in that top corner, all by itself. Yeah, just like that with a bit of autumn in it. Right. So that is it from us tonight. Let me see if I can find the right one. There we go, we're back. That is it from me tonight. We are back next Monday. If you're coming to Leo over the weekend, do drop by and say hi. I think little lady said she's doing the wake and take, just to tease you there. And I'm hoping we will have some new stuff with us as well. It's something I've been working on for a while, but yeah, we had a little bit of manufacturing stuff come in, so we had to stop our stuff for a little bit. So hopefully it'll be in a place where we can bring it with us to Leigh on Saturday and then Birmingham next week, and it should be on the website hopefully the end of this week, but we'll see. It is exciting, and it'd be great actually for some last minute Christmas presents as well, but I'll share that with you. So if you're at Leigh, do come along and say hi. There's been a change around on the floor plan for that. We're where we were last time. Yeah, you'll find us. So do come along and say hi, and if not, I will see you back here on Monday at 7. So take care, stay safe, and I will see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.